practice is not limited to the educational sector alone, but is also common in electoral bodies. A lot of people are falling victim to malpractice while practicing their legal professions. Electoral malpractices are always followed by terrible things befalling the country. In the end, the electorate, the country, and democracy itself suffer greatly. As food is to the body, so an election is to democracy. The election remains the main ingredient of democracy, which nourishes and sustains it. However, for this to happen, the election must be organized with utmost sincerity. Citizens should have the opportunity to vote for candidates of their choice, and their opinions expressed through their votes should decide who rules them. This does not happen most of the time because people involved try to manipulate elections in order to win. Welcome back to ExamPadi. Today's topic is election malpractices. In this lesson, we will discuss electoral malpractices and the forms of electoral malpractices. We will also explain the causes of electoral malpractices. Election malpractice is a term used to describe all forms of dishonest and fraudulent activities that interfere with the democratic nature of an election. Fraud practiced during election is common in countries with political apathy, instability, lack of political awareness, and high poverty rates. Election malpractice is therefore the manifestation of all forms of electoral misconduct capable of derailing electoral processes. It is also the irresponsible acts performed by the electoral body, political parties, and those capable of influencing the smooth conduct of elections in a country. Forms of electoral malpractices include 1. Forgery and intimidation of voters and political opponents. In this situation, electorates are frightened by the use and involvement of thugs to stop them from voting for their choice of candidates. For example, stealing of ballot boxes by thugs. 2. Underage voting. This is done by enabling those who are ineligible to vote. That is, some politicians influence the underaged to do this in order to win elections. 3. Financial inducement and other corrupt practices. This is a situation whereby people are bought over with money or material things to vote for the candidates that they would not have voted for. 4. Falsification of figures and results. This is usually done by the returning officer and his deputy, since they receive and collect results from the polling stations. They may be bribed by the politicians to inflate the actual figures. 5. Partisanship of the electoral body. An electoral body should be neutral, impartial, and transparent during an election. Some dishonest and greedy people among the electoral bodies are involved in the active rigging of votes to favor the party in power or candidates that bribed them. 6. Artificial scarcity of electoral materials. This is an election rigging tactic used by the Electoral Commission, especially in areas where the rival is influential. In some polling stations, the electoral body may deliberately provide insufficient ballot papers, boxes, ballot forms, and ink to make it difficult for the people in that constituency to vote. 7. Fake ballot papers and manipulation of votes. During elections, some politicians who are desperate to win election print fake ballot papers and distribute them to their party members in order to increase the numbers of their votes. Causes of electoral malpractices include 1. Power. The main cause of electoral malpractice is the craving for power by politicians. They want to have access to our political offices, and by all means, they get involved in electoral malpractice. 2. Poverty. The poor state of citizens in a country make them do anything to get money and food on their table. When politicians offer them tokens to be involved in bad things, they do not hesitate, irrespective of the fact that they know the right thing to do. 3. Lack of political education. Illiteracy and lack of political enlightenment on the part of citizens do not make them know their rights. Most of them are being cheated without being aware and do not know the implications of electoral malpractice. 4. Bribery and corruption. Bribery is offering, giving, or receiving anything of value with the intention of inducing a person to act or to reward a person for having acted. Electoral officers and voters do not hesitate to collect or ask for bribe, as it is seen as a norm in the society. 5. Foreign influence. Most of the time, other powerful countries interested in the leadership of a particular country can influence and affect the smooth running of the electoral process, thereby causing a disruption in a supposed free and fair election. Number 6. Tribal sentiments. Many tribes want a leader from their ethnic group to rule the nation rather than voting a good and trustworthy leader into power. 7. Politics as a means of getting rich. Many people become rich through politics. They embezzle money and do what they like. Hence, the reason many contestants involve in electoral malpractices just to win the election. Evaluate your knowledge of the topic by answering the following questions. 1. Discuss electoral malpractices. 2. Highlight 3 forms of electoral malpractices. And 3. Enumerate and discuss 2 causes of electoral malpractices. We have come to the end of the first part of electoral malpractices. The concluding parts will be discussed in our next video. Until then, bye!